Hi, everyone. You're listening to Radio Cherry Bombe, and I'm your host, Kerry Diamond, coming to you from Newsstand Studios at Rockefeller Center in the heart of New York City. I'm the founder and editor of Cherry Bombe magazine. We are in a Jubilee state of mind at Cherry Bombe right now. Jubilee is our annual conference, and it's one of the largest gatherings of women in and around the world of food. This year's Jubilee is taking place Saturday, April 20th, here in New York City, and it marks the 10th anniversary of Jubilee. It's been an honor bringing thousands of women together from around the globe for connection and community over the past decade. For today's show, we have one of the panels from Jubilee 2023. I interviewed 5 food stars from the Magnolia Network: Casey Korn, Zoë François, Jamila Norman, Elizabeth Poett, and Samantha Seneviratne. Learn how they got their start in food TV, what their shows are all about, and more. I had a blast talking to them on stage and can't wait for you to listen. This year's Jubilee is sold out, but you can join the waiting list on cherrybombe.com. Big thank you to this year's Jubilee sponsors: Kerrygold, San Pellegrino, Wegmans, Johnny Walker, Veuve Clicquot, and Hexclad. If you're joining us at Jubilee, send me a DM. I would love to say hello in person. This episode of Radio Cherry Bombe is supported by Johnny Walker Blended Scotch Whiskey. Johnny Walker is the world's #1 Scotch whiskey brand and has been responsible for lots of happy hours and convivial moments for more than 200 years. That tradition continues today in Edinburgh, where Dr. Emma Walker, Johnny Walker's first female master blender, leads a passionate team of whiskey makers. I've had the pleasure of interviewing Emma, and she is so dedicated to her craft. I know some of you love having a well-stocked liquor cabinet or bar cart at home, so 2 options to consider. First, Johnny Walker Black Label. Its nose, as Emma would say, features the bold scent of fruit with a touch of sweet vanilla. Your tongue will pick up creamy toffee, sweet fruit and spice, followed by a warming, smoky finish. If you want to experience the pinnacle in Scotch making, there's Johnny Walker Blue Label. Its nose features waves of spice that give way to vanilla and honey. You'll experience notes that build from caramel to hazelnut to dark chocolate, then a luxuriously long, warming, signature smoky finish. You can learn more about Johnny Walker Blended Scotch Whiskey at johnnywalker.com. You'll find a deep dive into the brand's history and legacy, cocktail recipes, and info on the Johnny Walker Princes Street brand and tasting room experience in Edinburgh. I'm putting that place on my bucket list right now. Of course, always drink responsibly. Now, let's take a trip back to Jubilee 2023.
My name is Janae Kai Kai, and I'm a cake artist and the owner and founder of Pela Kitchen.
And hello, my name is Marissa Mullen. I'm the founder of That Cheese Plate and author of That Cheese Plate Wants to Party. Obviously, I love cheese, and we are ready to party. But Janae, do you know who I really want to party with?
Me?
I mean, that goes without saying. But I would like to party with everyone on this next panel.
That would be a great party. The 5 women on today's panel are like all of us here. They treasure community, gathering, and sharing their talent and their knowledge. What they also have in common is that they all have shows on the Magnolia Network. They're here to talk about their experience and the values that connect them.
But I would like to welcome to the stage Casey Korn, culinary anthropologist, ingredient sleuth, and the star of Recipe Lost and Found. Next up is Zoë François, pastry chef, author, beloved Instagram baker, and the star of Zoë Bakes. Next we have Jamila Norman, urban farmer, founder of Patchwork City Farms in Atlanta, and the star of Homegrown.
Next, we have Elizabeth Poett, 7th-generation rancher from Santa Barbara's Central Coast in California, and the star of Ranch to Table. Next, we have Samantha Seneviratne, food stylist, recipe developer, cookbook author, and star of one of my faves, Everyday Cooking. Now, our moderator is the interview queen, sweatshirt sorceress, Kerry Diamond, Cherry Bombe founder and host of Radio Cherry Bombe.
Thank you so much, Marissa and Janae. That was amazing. We're going to start with a speed round. I thought that would be fun. Casey's ready, so we'll start with Casey.
Always.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's a good speed round to get to know everybody a little bit? Tell me, or tell us, your birthday cake of choice and what you are streaming right now.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm not actually a cake person, sorry everyone, but tiramisu is my birthday cake of choice, and I just finished Love is Blind. We won't spoil it for anyone, but
Well, I'll take all your cake.
great.
So cake of choice, this is so hard because it's like every year it's different. I would have to say devil's food with cream cheese icing. I know that's
Okay,
like
that actually
super
sounds
basic, but it's so good. And I've just finished Succession.
Okay. I'm not a cake person either.
What? How am I?
I'm a savory gal. I'd probably have bread for my birthday. But like strawberry, whipped cream, fresh, just like farm fresh, something fresh. And I'm streaming All the Housewives and You. I have to check all the way out of Varmint. So, yeah.
Chocolate, and more chocolate. Anything chocolate is my birthday cake of choice. And streaming.
We prepped this in the car.
She's like, I don't even.
Okay, Love is Blind.
That's mine. Yellow cake, chocolate frosting. Classic. Lots of fruit.
Classic.
Yep.
And I just started watching Beef.
Yeah,
Very good.
that's on my watch list. I'm team buttercream all the way. I don't care what the vehicle is, but as long as there's buttercream. American buttercream, I'm very basic that way. And I just finished watching The Last of Us, and I'm still traumatized.
Traumatized.
Oh my
Okay, so Casey, we're going to start with you. Before I watched Recipe Lost and Found, I had no idea there was such a thing as a culinary anthropologist. What does that mean, and how do you become one?
I think it can mean a few things, but for me, it really means, a tomato's a tomato in every language. That for me as an anthropologist, the big part is translating between one culture to another. And for me, the perfect way to do that is food. Everybody eats, and what you eat says a lot about who you are individually, as a group. I mean, food connects us all. How you become a food anthropologist is get an anthropology degree and just
love food.
eat. I don't know, like to eat. Make people listen to you about food and culture, and then somehow get a TV show.
I hope you're all writing down this advice.
Simple, just 1, 2, 3.
Jamila, we're going to jump to you because urban farmer is another term we don't hear that often. Why did you decide to go that route versus the more traditional, say, country farmer?
Well, I'm originally from New York and I'm a city girl. I thought I would retire and like have a farm. And then when I moved to Atlanta, I was raising my kids. I was just like in an area that just had like really bad food. And I just was looking for a solution. Atlanta has a lot of green space, within the city, and like 5 minutes from my house. There was an opportunity and I started farming, and then I just became a farmer. Yeah, I love the city, and that's what I did.
I love it. Elizabeth, you are a 7th generation rancher. All these unique roles up here on the stage. A 7th generation rancher. We all know how incredible it is to be 7th generation anything. Did you always know that you'd stay with the family business? What convinced you?
Oh, family businesses. So fun. No, I always wanted to go back to the ranch. It was always a dream of mine to go back. I left the ranch for a while and then came back. And what I really connected with is that I just wanted to be a part. And we have a long history at the ranch with family running the ranch. And I wanted to be involved, but I wanted to also find kind of my own place and what I wanted to be involved in. And for me, it was always food. And so we started having these events, and I really wanted to share the ranch with others, and people could come to the ranch and, learn how to grow strawberries, and then let's can those strawberries, and then let's have an amazing meal all together under a really old arbor. And so for me, I think that's something that I wanted to come back. I knew I had such a great, strong history, but I also wanted to kind of make it my own and figure out a way how to share it.
Yeah.
Zoe, your life changed a great deal after you turned 50. You pivoted from bread to beautiful desserts as your specialty, wrote your first solo cookbook, you leaned into social media, and got a TV show. A lot of folks think life is set after 50. How did all of this come about?
Well, I think I've always wanted to be 50. Like, I don't even think I always wanted to be 60, actually. So I'm not even quite there yet.
So I'm still getting there.
When I was 23, I got married, went on my honeymoon, and I saw this woman who has always stuck with me. She had the most beautiful gray hair. She had confidence, and she just seemed like the strongest human being I'd ever seen. And that was like seared. It was the most memorable thing. Can I say that? The most memorable thing of my honeymoon.
Absolutely. Women are amazing.
And so it's not that that was a memory that sort of followed through but my whole life, but then I raised two boys, I had a career in kitchens, and it was the raising of the two boys that took me out of the kitchen. When my oldest turned 18, and I had given them everything, and I would never do anything different than that, but I had really become their mom and lost my own passion. And I thought that it was very important for me as a mom of two boys for them to see me in my own power, in my own passion, in my own strength and love, instead of just being in service to them. So it was kind of for that reason that I wanted to do. And then I just dove in. I was like, I want to do the things that I've always loved to do. And then it just sort of happened. It's like, it was time, and I really wanted it.
Beautiful. Yeah. Samantha, I read that at the age of 5, you wanted to be a baker and a librarian. So writing cookbooks seems like a beautiful combination of those childhood dreams. How did you make the dream come true as an adult? Were there any pivots or roadblocks?
I've been really lucky. I feel like I did the thing. I went to school, I went to culinary school, then I got an internship at a food magazine, at Senevira magazine. I started as a kitchen assistant at Good Housekeeping. I washed dishes. I just worked really hard and just kept like chipping away, chipping, until I finally had the confidence to sort of start writing my own books and being on a show and doing all the things. So it was very gradual. It took many, many years, but I knew what I wanted and I just kept working at it.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Thank you to Walmart for supporting this episode of Radio Cherry Bombe. Walmart is committed to empowering women all year long and supports female entrepreneurs by carrying an incredible range of female-founded and fueled brands. Brands like Afro Unicorn, how cute is that name? The clothing and accessories company founded by April Showers, Bloom Nutrition Supplements created by Mari Llewellyn, and Siete Family Foods, the Mexican-American food brand by Veronica Garza and, as the name says, her family. Check out these brands and more of our female-fueled favorites over at walmart.com/celebrate her. You can find that link in our show notes. Now, back to our Jubilee panel.
Okay, I would love to know more about each of your shows and the intention behind them. So this is a little two-parter. Can you give us the elevator pitch or a one-sentence synopsis? Then tell us your overall personal goal regarding the show. So Casey, we'll start with you.
All right, so my show, Recipe Lost and Found, I help people recreate lost family recipes. And for me, I would say my big mission in life is to connect people through food and show that, there's a lot of differences in the world, but really we're all just people and we're all just eating food. That is, I think, a really big part of the message of the show is like, I'm sure all of you can think of a recipe that your grandma, your grandpa, somebody made for you that you're like, oh, I wish I could eat that again. Like, give us a call. Maybe you can be on the next season.
Zoe, how about you?
So my show, it's a baking show, but it's also a show about my community. I'm from Minneapolis, and we are a town of bakers and growers and producers, and I get to go out and be with them and hear their stories and be inspired by them, and then come home and bake something that I was inspired to bake with them. So it's a little bit of everything, and I get the honor of telling their stories and also getting to bake. So it's like a total win for me.
Yeah.
Jamila?
Yeah, my show is called Homegrown, and it's about helping families transforming their yards, their homes, their whatever, into farms and gardens. Definitely never ever thought of myself as someone who would be on TV or with a show, but what was important to me was that I had a platform where I can show the real process and it be authentic and it be like real information that people can actually take back with them and replicate. And it's really turned out to be just that. Like with all the feedback we get from the audience, people are like, oh my God, I'm so inspired, or like, I've really tried that thing and it works. And I'm like, yes, okay, it's working. And also like a big love letter to the Atlanta urban farming community and just farming in Atlanta. Because with each show, we kind of like do a field trip and we go visit another farmer, and like 80% of those people are like my friends, my colleagues in the industry. So, I just wanted to show the face of farming, what it looks like, and inspire people to do it for themselves.
Elizabeth?
My show is called Ranch to Table, and it really is just about life on the ranch and how it relates to food. I did not go to culinary school. I am just a rancher who loves to cook.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just a girl from California who loves to cook. And I've always had a passion for food, really about raising food and growing food and really knowing that connection. I know that food connects people, but also I love to really try to respect the connection to food as well, and being able to share that and know where your food is coming from. I've been doing farmers markets for 16 years, and everyone who's come up to me has always just wanted that connection and the understanding of how much work it really takes to bring food to the table. So I've been able to cook and just really kind of share what life is on the ranch and also all the food that it creates. And one of the best things that has happened through this show is I've gotten, letters from young girls who want to be ranchers and who want to be farmers. And to me, that is everything. Was my goal, and it really is a dream come true.
Yeah. Jamila, you were nodding. Are you getting letters?
Oh, yeah, like people, oh my God, I want to do what you're doing. And so I'd been getting the letters before, or like people reaching out before. So like the show was an opportunity to kind of like share that with more people, because I was like, I can't answer and I can't be there for everybody, but here's a platform that can reach a lot more people and show. So
it's really wonderful.
It was so good. Yeah.
Zoe, similar?
Oh yeah, and a lot of 5-year-olds watch the show, which I didn't set out to do a show that I thought would appeal to 5-year-olds, but I feel like 5-year-olds, they sense the sort of how much I love what I'm doing. And the fact that they're sticking with the show, that's the highest compliment to me. I mean, I love that all of you might be watching it, but these 5-year-olds mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
Well, they're like Sam back when she was 5.
Exactly.
And wanted to be-
Like you're making, exactly.
It was Sesame Street. I remembered. I remember the image I saw of the dough on the speed racks in a segment on Sesame Street. I was
wow, yeah.
That's what I'm going to do, and be a librarian.
That's amazing.
Sam, okay, your turn. So tell us more
About my
about your
show.
show and the intention behind it.
It's called Everyday Cooking. I used to work for Everyday Food for Martha Stewart, so now I'm doing Everyday Cooking on television. It's basically just like dinner solutions with love from Brooklyn. I try to highlight, some of the people that make the food in my community, some chefs I admire, and mostly it's just about trying to feed my, feed my 5-year-old who doesn't like the majority of what I cook, so I'm doing my best. But I think we get there. I mean, in the show, he knows good food now, so we're working on it. But that's, just sort of cooking with your family and feeding people that you love.
Is your 5-year-old watching Zoë Bakes?
Probably.
Elizabeth, you mentioned connection and how food connects us, and connection has been such a big theme of today and all the connection in this room, which is incredible. Speaking of connection, there's obviously a thread that connects all of your shows. I would love to know what you think that thread is, and what does it say about what people are craving today? Casey, I'm looking right at you.
I know, I'm like, I think for me, one of the best parts about being a part of Magnolia Network is that I think kind of except for me, everybody's show is what they do. I don't, unfortunately, in my everyday job, help people recreate lost family recipes, but I love that it's just people doing what they love with food. And I think that it shows, we keep talking about connection. we are more connected to our food, to what we're eating, to how these foods get to our table and what that means to us than really ever before. And I think that the more personal food feels, the more people want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have to say for my show, it's the same. It's like I mentioned, I get to tell stories of all of the people in my community, and there's so many. But also for me personally, I love the feeling of demystifying baking, because I feel like baking, even maybe more so than the savory side of things, can be a little bit intimidating to people. And I am so mad, hot in love with it that I want everybody else to be as well, and to have that like love affair and joy when they're doing it. And so for me, that's the thrill of it. I love these days because there's the instant gratification of Instagram, where you put the show out there and then the next day people are baking those things, and it's like, yes. So that's, for me, what I love about it.
Jamila?
Yeah, I think for me, what comes up is like authenticity. Like all of us authentically, this is what we do. You know what I mean? This is who we are, and we're sharing the authenticity of like our actual lived experiences and what we do in our everyday. And I think that's also what people resonate with. They're like, oh, you're not a TV farmer, you're a real farmer. So I can actually, like, this advice that you're given is real advice. And like, I can really implement this.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just like that authenticity that we're all bringing to what we're doing, and that, you know, we're these real people in real life, and telling just like really good, honest, amazing stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel that I was just amazed that and grateful that Magnolia wanted to show what ranch life is all about and how connected it is to food. And we live in a beautiful place. The ranch is in California, in Santa Barbara County, and it just has this amazing food community and how connected and important food is. I think with all the shows, I mean, when we met each other, like last year, a year and a half ago, we immediately became so close, and it was just obvious that farmer, baker, I mean, everybody has like all of these amazing experiences in life and are sharing amazing things. So it's been great. Yeah. It's been really fun.
All right. Sam, I'll let you have the final word.
You know, I'm really gratified that we have the opportunity on our shows to like take it slowly and sort of explain things clearly and really take you from the beginning to the end of a pie crust. I'm going to show you exactly how I have put the butter in and things like that, because I mean, and I make fun reels for Instagram too, and I think they're great, and I love watching them. But I'm glad that we also have the opportunity occasionally to really teach, because I think that's what I really like to do. I really want to learn, and I want to teach, and that this is our way to be able to do that. So it's great.
Well, that is what I love about your shows, the authenticity, the education, and the craftsmanship behind everything that you do. So I can't thank you enough for all the beautiful content that you put into the world, and for talking a little bit with the audience today. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
That's it for today's show. I would love for you to subscribe to Radio Cherry Bombe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a rating and a review. I can't wait to see some of you at this year's Jubilee. You can learn more about Jubilee at cherrybombe.com. Our theme song is by the band Tra La La. Joseph Hazen is the studio engineer at Newsstand Studios. Our producers are Catherine Baker and Elizabeth Vogt. Our associate producer is Jenna Sadhu. And our content operations manager is Londyn Crenshaw. Thanks for listening, everybody. You're the bomb.